Digital Media.
Come on!
I'm a hippo. Broadcast Hippo. Digital Media.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Hold on, let me fix my camera. There we go. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show.
Whew.
Hey, Donnie.
Hey, good morning. Trying to wake up still.
I know, dude. I think
How
it's
early did you get up today to get yourself
six.
alive?
6.
Oh, all right.
Six. I wake up at 5 every morning on the weekday. What
you
is
really?
this 6 crap?
I think it's harder to get up. It seems when it's cold and shitty outside. Honestly,
Yeah.
It's harder to do it.
I
What's
actually
that?
got up at 5:40, so I was earlier but I still feel like I'm half asleep. But
I know.
we're gonna have fun.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's gonna be a good show. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm sure you guys got some stuff too, and of course we have Tiefel's segment as well, WTF News with Ebenezer Bushrod. So we got a lot going on. Want to start with this. Have you guys? I don't know if you, because I'm throwing you on the spot. I don't know if you'll be able to have any example. First, good morning, Connie. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Tell a friend. We love that. But have you guys ever heard something for the first time? Anything, whether it's a new product, a new show, a new trend, a new social media, whatever it is, you hear it for the first time, and then all of a sudden you hear it like 20 times over the next like 2 or 3 days or a week, and you're like, I had never heard of this like a week ago, and all of a sudden it's everywhere. I don't know if you guys have an example of that, but I'm going to give you my example.
It's called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon.
What is it? It's a name for it?
It's like it's like if you've never driven a Kia and you don't really notice them on the roads, and then you go to Donnie and you buy yourself a nice brand new Kia Rio, suddenly you're seeing every Kia Rio on the road.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that, because here's the example that I have. NTFs. Yeah. Like about a month ago, I had never heard of NTFs, and now I see them everywhere. And for those who don't know what an NTF is, I still don't know what it is, but it's called a non-fungible token, and it's basically, I know it's a virtual reality thing where you can buy like art, and you can buy just about anything now with an NTF.
It's weird.
It's basically crypto, isn't it?
I think so.
You can buy it with crypto. No, it's not really crypto, because
wait. Is this the gift card? Is this the gift card of the crypto universe? Like,
no.
Like here's my cash. This is the cash I could give you. So this is the Bitcoin I could give you, but I'm going to use it to buy these NFTs, and I'm going to give you the NFTs that give you limited spending options.
So let me ask you then, you guys don't seem too expert in it either. So maybe I'm way early on it. Like, do you guys know what it is?
It's been all over everywhere, mentioning there's been memes, there's been news stories, there's been everything. Because just because we don't fully understand it doesn't mean we don't know it.
Okay, because usually I'm not early on things, so that's why I didn't think I was. I'm usually late.
You were early on fire.
Go ahead, Donnie P.
I think it's like crypto, except there's a lot less of them. I think there's only like maybe 100 or like 1,000. So when you buy them, you know, they get valuable really quickly.
Well, and what I glean from this is that, and maybe it's not interesting, but and it wasn't really the point. It's point like that I'm just, when I see something, all of a sudden I come across it a million times. But it's basically like traceable stuff. So let's say I have a book. I don't know, and there's a limited number. You can trace it with this. You can trace it, or art. Let's say there's a Mona Lisa. Is a limited.
There is a Mona Lisa.
Okay, there's one Mona Lisa, but like this is art you can make online, but it's traceable like back to the original person, so that you can't just copy it.
So it's Bitcoin, but worse. Okay,
yeah,
good.
I guess
it's the gift. Well, like I said earlier, it's the gift card of the electronic currency world.
Okay, well here's my other. Go ahead, Donnie.
Can we go back to the more interesting part of this? Is talking about the Bader Meinhof phenomenon, and I
Yes.
can tell you guys, I'm going to tell you something that you might not have ever heard of.
Okay.
And I didn't hear of it until like a couple months ago, and now all I do is hear about it everywhere.
What?
And I'm reading the book too. So have you ever heard of 75 Hard?
That was my next Biter Mainoff or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah. Because I saw on a couple days ago Ashley post that you and Ashley are doing this I-75 thing, and I was like, Colleen, I'm like, what is I-75 thing? And she said that she saw it on Ashley's page and had no idea what it was.
It's where you sit in construction for 75 days.
Yeah, that was my example of another one that I figured was on the horizon because I'd never heard of it. But like I said, I'm late on stuff. So if I see something, I assume that okay, you've never heard of it either.
I didn't hear about it until they said something, and I haven't heard about it since. And I still don't know what it is. Is it an exercise program?
I don't know. What is it, Donnie?
Yeah, it's like 75 days of like basically hard mode exercise. So you got to exercise twice a day. There's no alcohol, no cheat days. You have to stick to a diet. You have to take a picture of yourself every day and put it.
But how is Ashley going to be able to have time to do that and keep your home showroom quality?
Right. I mean, okay, yeah. Here's the rules.
Because we already learned that the other day when she posted that she had that she feels like she has to keep the house looking ready to sell. And like
at all times, like,
but that's her own thing. She's been working on that for like years.
In case someone knocks on your door, Donnie, and says, "You know what? I want to buy this place. Come on in. We're ready to sell."
She has to keep the place looking like nobody lives there. It was her wording.
Yes, and I told her if she doesn't lighten up, nobody will be living here. I'm like, there's a way to have a place where there's no mess from no one. It's just you, and you don't have to worry about anybody else.
It's funny you say that because if her house is showroom ready, our house is whatever the opposite of showroom ready is. That's what our house is.
My apartment, like I used to, like I said before, I never cared, and I didn't. Like my apartment was never like bug infested and like like those weird horror like hoarder things that you see, but it was cluttered and I didn't like do regular cleaning or anything like that. But now my place looks more like I just give half a shit, like the way you would expect a single guy's apartment to look. Like it's straight, it looks clean. But if you look too close, you might find things.
Well, but here's the thing, Chris, you have to live like that because you never know when a female might knock on the door.
Yeah, I do. The answer's never.
Speaking of, okay, I want to get to that first, but first, Donnie, okay, so the 75 hard is you just exercise twice a day and there's crazy rules, and you're on what, day 3?
2.
Day 2. Okay, today's today's Tuesday.
That's why he's tired. Look at him. He's only wearing the cap. He didn't even take time to do his hair.
So how was day 1?
Well, day 1 was okay. I did I was out. One of the workouts has to be outside. So basically I either gonna run or walk. I was outside for like 2 hours yesterday walking around moving cars.
When they designed this program, did they design it to happen in Ohio in the middle of winter?
No, I don't think so. But he's from like I'm reading the book too, so I don't know. I read. You have to read 10 minutes a day, and I already read this morning. So
good.
It's a book, not a cop, Donnie.
Some good habits already.
Well, good, man. So
the no drinking thing is hard.
Day 1, you guys are sticking to it so far.
Yeah. Hey, if it helps you any, Donnie, I will take all the alcohol from your house.
Oh, I already drank it all on Sunday.
So what did you do on Sunday that was like, okay, well, we're going balls to the wall tomorrow. I'm eating 5 donuts today. I'm doing.
Well, it was more of about 9 o'clock at night. I realized there was still about 4 beers and like maybe like 5 ounces of vodka left, and I took care of it in about a half hour. So I was hurting yesterday morning.
He had his own personal Fat Tuesday.
I did, except it was drunk Sunday.
Well, it was a good day to do it because it's great football on this weekend. Holy crap!
Oh my gosh! Here, I'll send you my last drink. Well, go ahead. I'll send you my last drink.
I don't even watch football, but I know that I happened to turn it on this weekend, and it was freaking some of the best games I've ever seen before in my life. So it was a good time. It was a good time to start. What? Please inform everybody that I have to take the trash out. Oh, she didn't. Colleen has to. We forgot to take the trash out last night, so Colleen has to get the trash out before the trash guy comes. So that's why she's not here. She will be here momentarily.
Wait. She has to take the trash out, man. Come on.
Well, I got to run the show.
I mean, but you could have gotten up at 5 and taken the trash out.
We just thought about it when we woke up. Have you never done that where you're like, or sometimes you like hear the truck and you're like, fuck.
See, I don't have to worry about that because my dumpsters are down. I have to take my trash out to the dumpsters all the time, and they're in the same place. And the trash guy comes and takes them.
Go ahead, Tifo.
I was gonna say when I first moved into my building, one of the big reasons why I chose the executive towers was they had trash chutes. So I just had to walk down. I just had to walk down the hall in the nice comfort and warmth of the building, and dump my trash into the trash chutes. And shortly after, they closed them.
Oh.
Yeah,
people's
bags are probably breaking open.
I know everyone's changing everything, and whether it is or not, you just blame it on COVID, and then no one can bitch about it.
I know. Yeah. This is back in 2011.
Oh. All right, show Donnie's the last drink he ever had.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, for 2.5 months. This is for 2.5 months now. Oh,
it's a fatty.
What is it?
That's all vodka.
It's a straight vodka with
a splash of olive juice.
Where'd you get that giant glass size ice cube?
So that is a football ice cube that Ashley bought some molds, and you just gotta put it in this mold and put it in the fridge. It's like a craft ice cube, but it's shaped like a football. But
awesome.
Like a normal martini drinker would notice that this should not have a straw in it. So the straw is in there because I was using the same glass because I was drinking mixed drinks, and then I just left it in there. So I didn't drink that with a straw because that would have been gross. You have to sip on that. But that was my last drink. It was really good. And
you use your nice little pink straw to drink your drink.
Now, for those who don't know, I think that those giant ice cube now is like the way you're supposed to drink drinks because if you have individual ice cubes, they will melt faster than if you have one giant ice cube, and your drink tastes a lot more. It gets a lot less watery when you have one giant ice cube.
But you get bonus drink.
It's like a surface area thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like the newer fancy fridges make those now, the balls.
Oh,
and it's mostly for I think like whiskey and bourbon drinkers,
Yeah.
Because like when you're drinking martinis, you kind of want the ice to melt a little bit because that's a little strong.
You get extra drink.
Yeah, right. All right,
you're drinking your drink, you get down toward the bottom, and boom, you still have a little bit more.
All right, so Tifo, you went on a date for the first time in years. You wouldn't say how long.
First off, it wasn't the first time in years, so stow that. Secondly, because it's none of your damn business. That's why.
All right.
And then secondly, it didn't happen.
So yeah,
I got stood up and ghosted.
Oh,
what? Wait a minute. So she made all these plans for Friday. She was going to come over to the house. You were going to make dinner.
And we texted back and forth all week as well. On there, and then she was supposed to be there around 6. I waited till about 6. I waited till about 6:15, 6:17. Tried calling her. It rang twice. The third ring was a weird half ring, and then her voicemail. So she screened me, and then I sent it and I left a message. Just, hey, it's Chris. Just want to make sure everything's all right and everything. And then I sent her a follow-up text about 5 minutes later. Hey, is everything all right? Nothing. So a friend of mine came over and we hung out for a few hours.
Well, now, Chris, so when did she start the ghosting? Because you said you were texting all week long. Because we talked Tuesday. The date was Friday. So when did you get the last correspondence?
Friday morning, I sent her a text. And it was just kind of a joking, kind of like, and I even put a little laugh emoji, just so make sure that she knew it was joking. I had to clean because you're coming over, and I put a little put a little laugh emoji next to it. No response at all day Friday. I assume she was just busy. Because I don't expect somebody to respond to a text right away. I think people that expect a response to a text right away are just being unrealistic.
Was this your first date? Was this your first hangout with her?
Yeah, it would have been. But not anymore. She's blocked.
Well, okay.
You blocked her.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Don't take it personal.
If you can't
rule number one, brother, in dating.
Yeah, if you can't even summon up to make a stupid excuse.
Stop.
Then no, I'm blocking you.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Stop. Settle down, Chris. We're gonna help you grow here.
I'm very settled.
Tuesday. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's 4 days later. He's pissed. Yes, Tasha. Tifa got stood up.
Okay. Well, first of all, she probably got a little bit nervous to come to your house.
Yeah, no one was ever getting nervous.
No, that's not true. When you go to someone's house, that's on their turf. That is okay. So on Tuesday, so let's look back. Last Tuesday, I felt that was a bit intimate because I said, "Hey, why don't you guys do something in public? Coming to your house is super forward, in my opinion."
From my experience, knowing other people, it's really not that big of a deal.
Was it your idea to go to your house, or was it her idea?
It was my idea.
See.
Well, I can tell you firsthand. That was
first off. That was what it was established initially, and she never offered an alternative, and she agreed to it. It wasn't like I said. It wasn't like I said, "Hey, why don't you come over? I'll cook something." And then she was like, "Oh, hey, why don't we meet at Don Juan's instead?" And then I insisted on that. No, I said, "Hey, why don't you come over? I'll cook something, and we'll catch up and everything." And she immediately agreed. There was
Donnie, go ahead.
Yeah, so I get it, Chris, because you've been cooking your ass off, and if I were you, I would want to show that off as soon as possible. So it's nothing. There's no. We're not blaming you for having that idea. I mean, it's a great idea. It's just I can tell you from experience when I was on a cooking kick 15 years ago. Or even more, 18 years ago when my daughter was 2 years old, because I was cooking for her and I'm cooking for my friends. So I'm like, you know what? I want to make this cool ass recipe. And I made a date for a Friday night. I was cooking. I still remember what I was making. It was almond. It was some kind of crusted mahi. I don't remember, but it was good. And same exact situation, Chris. I'm telling you, the day gets there. And hold on, brother. Let me just help you. We're gonna help you grow here because
because
hold on.
Story.
Because you're not going off the right context on this.
You hate being.
Yes, I am. The context is I did the exact same thing, and she goes to me, and she didn't show up. And I'm like, what the heck?
How long?
Why? That's so weird.
How long did you know her beforehand?
It doesn't matter. That's not part of the story.
Matter.
Hold on.
I'm not done, Chris. Listen, we're trying to help you. First of all, you gotta allow the help, man. You gotta let it in.
You're not helping.
So I'm not even finished telling you my relatable story.
Hold on. So, Jesus Christ. No wonder she fucking ghosted you. I can't stand you. I wouldn't want to be in a room with you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be in a room with you.
Go ahead, Doc.
Dude, so 15 years later, I'm happily married with kids. I run into a friend of mine who is a mutual friend, and somehow it came up about this date I had planned with her.
15 years later, you remembered it?
I know that. Yeah, and he told me that she really felt bad for standing me up because she was guy friends with her, but she stood me up because she felt weird about going to my house for the first date ever. So that was my only point. That only point I told that whole story is because 15 years later.
I get that, but the if this was a woman that I had just met and we were getting, I would not have suggested it at all. This is a woman that I've known since 2015. We've hung out already outside and other places. I've been to her place already.
How long ago?
A couple of years back.
Okay, exactly.
So it's already if this was a brand new woman that I had never met before, or we had never hung out before, or any of that stuff, yes, the inviting her over to my place for dinner would have been a really forward thing to do. But this was a woman that I already had a somewhat established relationship with. We had already hung out before. I'd already been over to her place before.
Yeah, I know, but it's not.
Right.
What I'm trying to tell you, though,
so
it's not you. It's her friends that are saying, "Oh, what are you doing tonight? I'm going to my friend's house for dinner." And they're like, "Oh, really? Like, you haven't told me about him, and you're already going over his house." And then they talked her out of it. It's not you. That's why I said, don't take it personally. It's not you. It's
Donnie,
the shitty advice she got from her friends.
Donnie, I totally agree. It was her cackling hen friends that got in her ear Friday morning or Thursday or whatever. Like, you're going to his house? Well, you haven't talked to, you haven't seen him in years. They're like, are you sure you want to do this? And she's like, and then the date had gone so far along that she didn't want to cancel. And she just decided,
which is a shitty thing to do.
Absolutely. No one's disagreeing with that. But she panicked at the last minute and just stopped answering your calls.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with Donnie that next time I thought, again, I called it out last Tuesday. I said, that's super intimate. I know you've got.
And again, if it was a woman that I did not already know and already had a previously established relationship with, I would not have suggested it. And I also would not have expected her to immediately agree to it. I'm not an idiot.
Hold on. Just like you, she was excited. She told a bunch of friends, just like you did. And then her friends started getting her ear and like, man, you haven't seen this dude. And then they show their picture. They're like, holy fuck, you can't go to that dude's house. You're never gonna leave this place.
All right.
So, now he's joking. That last one was
and like I said, after the initial shock of Friday night, I'm fine with it. I did block her and everything, but I also don't really want to go out with a woman that's going to listen that closely to her friends instead of just her own damn self when it comes to who she wants to hang out with.
Hey, that's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to look at it.
My last piece of advice, Chris. Don't.
Hold on. Go ahead, Donnie. You last piece, and then Colleen wants to jump in.
Oh yeah, the last piece of advice is don't take it so personal, man. When someone stands you up, when someone picks another guy over you, when someone does something with someone else over you, it's not. Because she just doesn't know how cool it would be to kick it with you, bro.
Yeah. Well,
she doesn't know how good of a time she had. She missed out.
It's her
missed out.
Initially that night when it happened, I was upset.
Yeah.
But now I'm whatever. It happened. Whatever.
Yeah. But it's her fault. It's not your fault. We're not blaming you, bro.
Yeah.
And Colleen can't even talk about the whole listening to your friends thing, because I feel like that's what she's about to go on to. Like, you should listen to your girlfriends and stuff like that. Because literally everybody told her not to go out with you, and here she is married with a kid with you.
Stop pre-butting everybody. Hold on. Go ahead, Colleen.
No, it was on the basis of my friends, but here's the problem: is I have to take their side. You know why? They know too many secrets.
Mutually assured destruction.
All right.
Mutually assured destruction is the cornerstone of a good friendship.
All right. Let me ask you this: what have you pulled anything from this moving forward? Have you learned anything for moving forward, or is this an anomaly in its own box? And you're going to do things the same way next time? Because everyone looks back and like, maybe I was too this. Maybe I was too that.
I already told you I wasn't going to do things the same way again. This was a unique situation given the previous relationship with her. It was that, again, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to meet a woman like out in the world and hit it off and then be like, hey, come over to my place and I'll cook for you. Yeah, because that's creepy as shit. I'm not stupid.
Right. Okay, Christopher. Well, that's good. We learned something. Go ahead, Colin.
I learned something. I already knew that.
Technically wasn't our first date at your mom's house in your bedroom.
Oh,
so, lay off the boy a little bit, okay?
Well, you were a little different in the fact that you were a booty call that wouldn't go away.
Oh, okay. I can go away.
No. It's too late now.
I can go away.
Too vested.
I can go away now. I can go away now. Bye.
All right.
Your bedroom in your mom's house. At least I got my own damn place.
Right. That's why it was good. That's why I knew she was the one, because I was living with my mom. I'd just gone through all this shit in public, getting fired, all that shit, and she still was here. So I'm like, well, if you
wanted to marry Manson too, so
if you're sticking around for all that, then you have earned the right to marry me.
It's in the Constitution.
Yeah.
So next time, Chris, invite
I think of
her.
a million other words: punished, tortured, held hostage, Stockholm.
No, earned.
No, it's not earned.
But no, I'm not an idiot. This was a unique one-off situation that ended in a way that I didn't expect.
Well,
but like I said, a friend of mine came over.
You had a good time.
Hung out with me for a couple of hours. She did the normal bashing and all that stuff, which was fun.
Made the best out of it. Well, that's good. Couple things. Amanda Osborne says smaller cubes water down the drink, which we were saying. Thank you, Amanda. Good morning. Natasha says, yo, she can't believe Tifa got stood up. She also said on Donnie's advice, called it church. Go, girl. Brenda has the shaking the head emoji. And Gina weighed in. If she's up, she should be here, but she says that's bullshit. Why not just say something? Why not just cancel? Standing someone up and ghosting is incredibly rude and inconsiderate. And that's
especially because I'd already started cooking. Like if she could have texted me at like 4 and said like she decided not to come, then I could have just not cooked what I was going to cook. So now I just had all these.
Honestly, in this day and age, there's so many ways you can cancel.
Yeah,
you got COVID.
Although it did lead to a kick-ass breakfast the next morning for myself when I used the extra crepes to make this.
Donnie brings up a good point. Hold on, what'd you make? Let me see. Ooh, what is that?
So I made some cheesy eggs, wrapped them in the crepes, melted some cheese atop. Those are dill sprigs and then powdered sugar.
He already had the breakfast for the next morning for when she stayed the night.
No, I was not expecting that. This was my own personal thing. I didn't come up with till the next morning.
She missed out not staying over at the Tiefel. Not staying with the Tiefel. She missed out.
Chris, I would have showed up.
Yeah, man, you would have invited me. I'd have been there in a second. All right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening in. Thank you for telling a friend. We do appreciate it. There was something else I wanted to say. Let me look at my list here. Anyway, Donnie, so the Hard 75 thing, day one is going good. You're still going to continue it, right?
Yes.
Congratulations, man. That's good.
Thank you.
Here's another thing that I wanted to go into. And it annoyed me. I saw this last night and annoyed the fuck out of me. Florida lawmakers are moving forward on a bill to ban any discussion of LGBTQ people in schools. There is no discussion of anything LGBTQ. Like it doesn't in school, it doesn't exist. Now, Chastain Buttigieg, who is Pete Buttigieg's husband. Pete Buttigieg is, of course, the transportation secretary for President Biden.
Isn't it Buttigieg?
I don't know. They're gay, of course. He said Chastain tweeted, "This will kill kids." At Florida, Ron DeSantis, you are purposely making your state a harder place for LGBTQ kids to survive. In a national survey from the Trevor Project, 42% of LGBTQ youth seriously considered attempting suicide last year. Now they can't talk to their teachers? ?
Right.
I don't understand why we are so scared of gay people or why we think that gay can rub off or be talked into. Because you're in a fucking classroom and you show that, hey, this is a group of people too, and this is some things that they've done, or this is their history, or this is, why you should treat them with respect. Why that you are so scared that's going to make every kid in that class gay? Are you that fucking stupid? It annoys the crap out of me. We should just love people. Who cares who you love? Like we're just creating this problem, and it's a political thing to where, hey, conservative Christian Republicans, I'm doing this for you, so you'll go vote for us because they're a very loyal voting bloc. But you are hurting people for your own political gain, and it's so infuriating to me that people do this. It's like, I don't know. Someone want to jump in, or shall I continue?
I can tell you right now that I'm walking proof that you can't turn someone gay.
Right. It would be so much easier if Tifo's a great bear. If you could be turned gay, his troubles would be over. He'd be living with a dude right now, and things would be great. He'd be making them crepe eggs in the morning. But you can't turn someone gay. And treating and teaching what inclusion, teaching respect, teaching that stuff should not be banned for anything. It's ridiculous. Go ahead.
It's by people who still think it's like you said. It's people who still think it's a choice.
Yeah,
weird. It's just a weird thing.
No one chooses. That life is hard. No one chooses that life. You don't choose it. That's what you feel. And scientifically, there's enough science. And I know that many of you don't believe in science. But you can see the brain is wired differently. There are things different in someone that is attracted to different types of people, that the brain is wired differently. It's not a choice. It's fucking amazing to me, man. It just pisses me off to no end that just because like it's hard. Like if you talk to an LGBTQ person, it's been a hard life, and just respect them and let them be who they are. And just, if it's one of your kids, love them for who you are. And people should learn about that stuff, because you're not living in your white Christian bubble at fucking school. You're going to have to get out in the real world eventually. And guess what? You're going to come across someone that's gay. Oh my God.
Oh no.
So I remember my first attempt at college was in Seward, Nebraska, Concordia University. It's a Lutheran university.
Mm-hmm.
And we went in to Lincoln for the evening or whatnot, and one of the people saw two women holding hands walking down the street for like the first time ever in her life, and she flipped out. Like it was like it wasn't like she didn't like run up to him and yell at him, but she was just like she didn't understand it. It didn't make any sense to her. It did not compute. Like you could see her brain almost like short circuiting at the mere thought of it.
The mere thought of gay. Oh Lord, clutch the pearls. Oh Lord Jesus. So anyway, it's just ridiculous. Okay, a couple things. Hey, I don't know if you guys are going to watch the Winter Olympics in a couple weeks, but I guess Beijing, China is so freaked out about COVID, and they're being super trying to be careful, because it's kind of I think it's obviously a worry over there like it is here. Well, NBC has now announced that it's not going to send any announcers to Beijing for the Winter Olympics. They're going to sit in the studio here in the States and commentate on the games. So instead of being in the arena, they're going to be here watching it on television like us, and announcing the game.
To be fair, like most of the stuff that they're commenting on when they're at the Olympics, they're watching it on a screen anyway. Like they're not at each event unless it's like one of the big ones.
Really?
So, well, yeah, because there's so much stuff going on. Yeah, they just talk about videos and it's.
They are taking it seriously though. I just saw an article earlier that said there was an office building that had one case of Omicron in there. They locked the entire thing down with people still inside.
Well, and then they'll take like because they have speakers all through all through China. And then there's a point where, like, if one person has, they'll be like, "Get back to your house right now!" They'll like go over the loudspeaker, "Get back to your house, lock your doors. We found a case of corona." like they go crazy over it. So,
as of a couple of years ago, though, that'd be kind of difficult because there was still like 1 million people in China living in caves.
And Natasha says, "Yeah, so they're gonna send cameramen over, but no commentators."
Right.
How rude! It's like, hey, okay, the important people, you're staying back. John,
the cameramen don't have as good of a union.
Right. All right. This is another thing. A feud has brewed for Blur frontman Damon Albarn. He's worked with everyone from Snoop Dogg to The Cure's Robert Smith, and in his animated band Gorillaz. So he's in the band called Blur. He was in
Never heard of it.
I like you heard of it.
Nope.
You heard Gorillaz. What?
Oh yeah. You know the song. You know the song.
You know the song if you heard it. Anyway, he does a lot of collabs, and he's doing some media for his new thing, which is he's doing an orchestra thing. So it's just like him at a piano with an orchestra in the background, and they so he's doing an interview to promote that with the LA Times. And what he said was that, hold on, with his orchestra solo album, he asked, here we go. I want to find the quote.
I can honestly say I've never heard a song called "All on My Nutsack." It's one of the Gorillaz.
What's the dun 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 dun, like the Gorillaz do that anyway? He said when talking about his new venture with an orchestra, he says how musicians can't hide behind anything when playing only piano. He said he criticized most current recording artists for relying mainly on sound and attitude. And he brought up Taylor Swift's name the LA Times writer brought up Taylor Swift's name as being like a real musician, like a real songwriter, an excellent songwriter. Well, then this dude barked at it. This dude from the Gorillaz and from Blur barked at it. So the reporter from the LA Times said, well, she writes many of her songs. He goes, well, she co-writes many of her songs, to which he retorted, that doesn't count. I know what co-writing is. Co-writing is very different to writing. I'm not hating on anyone, but you are.
Oh, really?
I'm just saying there's a big difference between a songwriter and a songwriter who co-writes. Well, that went viral. And so Taylor Swift responded. She said, I was such a big fan of yours until I saw this. I write all of my own songs. Your hot take is completely false and so damaging. You don't have to like my songs, but it's really fucked up to try and discredit my writing. Wow.
Yeah, he's a jealous D-bag, I guess.
I know.
The better retort from her would have been like, who? Like, who was that? Who said this?
Right, exactly. What's funny you say that. Jack Antonoff, I don't know who that is, but he says, I've never met Damon Albarn, and he's never been to my studio, but apparently he knows more than the rest of us about all the songs Taylor Swift writes and brings in. So anyway, the guy says, well, they kind of took the thing he responded, Albarn said, I totally agree with you. I had a conversation about songwriting, and sadly it was reduced to clickbait. I apologize unreservedly and unconditionally. The last thing I want to do is discredit your songwriting. I hope you understand, Damon. And he wrote that to Taylor Swift. So we'll see. I don't know if that's going to quell the.
You're bringing up Taylor Swift though. Reminded me of this that I saw the other day.
Oh, what is that? Let's see. I don't know. I don't understand.
Trailer Swift.
Trailer. I don't know. That had me laughing for a couple minutes.
Huh. All right.
That's her cousin.
Just a dumb fucking meme.
Yeah, just a dumb fucking meme. So
it looks like a Taylor Swift album cover. That's all.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It did look good.
Okay, I have one more thing, and then we'll get into WTF news, and I want to get your guys' take on this. So there's a new, excuse me, I'm very phlegmy. There's a new documentary out about secrets of the Playboy Mansion on A&E, and it's a 10-part series. And basically, hold on. Excuse me. There's a 10-part series, and it's a bunch of Playboy playmates like Holly Madison, who was one of the girls next door. If you remember that reality show, she was Hef's girlfriend for 7 years. And there's a bunch of playmates coming out saying that Hef was controlling and grooming, and just the things that went on there were not the best, and they're really exposing Hef in a bad way, putting him in a bad light, basically beating the fuck out of him on this documentary show. So I guess what I'm asking is, he died in 2017 at 91, so 5 years ago. Post Me Too, we've looked back on a lot of things and said that was fucked up the way things happened. Do we need to look back at Hef? Because he was revered in the media. The media loved him. Everyone loved interviewing Hef. They knew what was going on. He had different girlfriends and girls all around the Playboy Mansion. But he would make them have sex, and they couldn't go outside. They had a curfew. There was a lot of things now that we're finding out that we didn't really know, but we knew that we loved Hef. So do we need to change our perspective on because every guy loved Hef. Every guy wanted to go to the Playboy Mansion. Every guy wanted to love Hef. But if we're looking,
I don't know.
seedy stuff.
Let's back it up.
You feel him in the same way. Go ahead, Donnie.
Really sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
But we're all getting older, but you're a little bit older than me and Tifel, and it's more of a 70s, 80s thing. Because I saw Tifel shaking his head, and I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I thought he was a creep. Like Tifel, did you want to be Hef and go to the Playboy Mansion? Or
did not want to be Hef or go to the Playboy Mansion. The only reason I ever saw Playboy was because my brother moved back in with our father, and my mom had allowed him to have a subscription to Playboy because my mom is a very permissive parent. And when he left, he couldn't bring it with him, so I inherited it.
Nice.
And that's how I discovered my favorite Spice Girl, Ginger Spice. And
don't get me wrong. We're not talking about the magazine. The magazine
the magazine is, you're gonna agree with it or not agree with it, but it's more the way he was living and the way he was treating women.
No, it never appealed to me.
No, never appealed to you. That's interesting. So
whenever they would show those parties, okay, and there's people and there's girls dressed up, it looks like one of those parties that, you'd probably have a blast, especially if you're a celebrity, but if you wander into the wrong room, you might not make it out alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're locking the door, you've seen too much. Like, it was just a creepy vibe.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah. That is so interesting to me, Donnie, because yes, I grew up revering Hef, and everyone I knew, all the guys I knew loved Hef, and one of the dreams would be to go to a party at the Playboy Mansion. And so, you guys don't have that. Like, so they would have pig parties every Tuesday or Wednesday, we found out. And the pig party was, he would have ugly prostitutes over to the house, and he would invite friends over to come have sex with them. And he called them pig parties. So that we didn't know.
That's not even the way. Like, first off, pig parties are deplorable, horrible things.
That's horrible in any decade.
That's not even the way you do a pig party.
What do you know a different way?
Easy, Tito.
No, it's the whole thing with a pig party is it's a competition. So everybody's bringing their own relatively unattractive woman to the party, and there's a winner.
How the fuck do you know that? And why would you admit that?
Just because I've never participated, but I do know it, and it's a horrible practice, and it should never be done. But if Hef's going to do it, at least do it right.
Holly Madison said that it was very cult-like now that she's looking back, and she was kind of gaslit and expected to think of Hef as a really good guy, and you started to feel like, he's not what they say in the media, he's just some nice man. You had a 9:00 curfew. You were encouraged to not have friends over. You weren't allowed to leave unless it was like a family holiday. He was very abrasive and just not a nice guy, and that's kind of what's coming out about Hef in this documentary. But here's another interesting part of this. So is that Playboy has now issued a statement, like the company that Hef founded, the company that Hef ran, and here's what they said. The Hefner family, this was Playboy, his company has said about him. They've released a statement after this show came out. The Hefner family is no longer associated with Playboy, and today's Playboy is not Hugh Hefner's Playboy. We trust and validate these women and their stories, and we strongly support those individuals who have come forward to share their experiences. As a brand with sex positivity at its core, we believe safety, security, and accountability are paramount. The most important thing we can do right now is actively listen and learn from their experiences. As an organization with a more than 80% female workforce, we are committed to confronting any parts of our legacy that do not reflect our values today and continuing the progress we have made to evolve as a company so we can drive positive change for our employees and our communities. So that's Playboy basically distancing himself from having he did some crazy shit. We don't agree with that, but that's not us.
I mean, he had 3 girlfriends. Who's surprised that he was like a creep and didn't let him out of the house?
Yeah, like, I feel like we knew all of this stuff a decade ago, and we just didn't care.
Natasha says the 80s are full of all kinds of secrets. Shaking my head. All the documentaries in the world won't uncover them. Well, it was a different. When people say woke and the right tries to use that as a put down, but woke just means, hey, to me, woke means we did things that were fucking asshole-ish. And we're looking back and we're like, wow, that was an asshole thing to do. I'm not going to do that anymore. We're woke on women. Yes, we are. We should be woke on women. We treated them like shit back in the day, and it was okay. And it was in sitcoms and it was all kinds of stuff. And we can't do that today. To me, there's nothing wrong with being woke. It means, hey, I'm not going to be a fucking asshole anymore. Or but the people that are fighting against it is because you want to continue to be an asshole. There's nothing wrong with being woke and learning from our past and continuing to evolve as a society. People want, like, to make America great again. They want to go back to the 50s and 60s and when everything was perfect. But that's not the way we evolve. And that's not we're not going to go back to that. People felt left out in this society. It was great for white people and great for white picket fences and great for suburbs and all that stuff, but it wasn't great for a whole lot of people. And that's what being woke is about. And there's nothing wrong with that. And learning from our mistakes and moving forward and not doing the same shit that we've always done instead of trying to go back and put that shit back in a bottle. No, we have social media now. People are out. We know the nasty underbelly that was trying to be covered by some of the bullshit that we pulled, and we can't pull it anymore. We shouldn't pull it anymore. It made a lot of people uncomfortable, and a lot of people didn't feel welcome living where they lived, and we just need to be past that. And that's what being woke is, and I'm proud to be woke, and I continue to need to be woke because there's still things that I need to learn and grow from. So I don't know. The woke thing to me is just I embrace it. People can call me woke. Fuck, call me woke. I don't give a fuck. Brenda Ladd says, didn't Holly really want to marry Hef? I mean, that's what she said in the past. So, but when I think when you're in it, I think with a lot of things, once you're past it, you start to wake up a little bit. There's a lot. I mean, a lot of culture like that. Like when you talk to someone that leaves, like you watch Leah Remini, who was a Scientologist. And she looks back now and she's like, God, I can't believe I was that person or listened to those people or did those things with those people. When you step away from it, sometimes you change your perspective because you're not, you're not surrounded by it or influenced by it anymore. All right, let's get into WTF news. Ebenezer Bushrod, go ahead.
All right. Well, my new favorite news story, and it's very recent. Turns out Biden is a sassy bitch. So he was asked a question by Peter Doocy of Fox News, asking him if he felt that inflation could be a political liability in the upcoming midterm elections. The question that everyone in Washington and pretty much the United States already knows the answer to. And he was just trying to get him to say something. Well, Biden didn't realize his microphone had been turned on yet, and sarcastically under his breath replied, "That's a great asset. More inflation." What a stupid son of a bitch.
You mumble. I wish we had the audio. Stupid son of a bitch.
So we already knew that Biden can reach a level of not give a shit when he was in the debates and he looked over at Trump and was like, come on, man.
Come on, man.
But it also turns out internally he's a sassy bitch, and I respect it.
There comes a point with age where you have less filters. You have less fucks to give because you have less time left, and you're not going to hold that shit in anymore. You're like, I think everyone has a parent or grandparent that just says what the hell they want to say. It's like, you can't say that. I'll say whatever the fuck I want to say.
Going across the pond over to Ireland in Carlow, apparently 3 men entered a local post office in order to collect the pension check for the third man. Employees became suspicious almost immediately because it appeared as though the third man was mostly being carried by the other two. Upon further interactions with the three, they ended up calling emergency services. Turns out Carlow, Ireland must have just gotten Weekend at Bernie's. the third gentleman had died, and the other two gentlemen wanted his pension check.
Oh,
And so they took him and propped him up and carried him between the two into the post office in an attempt to claim his pension check.
do we have any security footage? Like, I want to see if they tied their feet to his feet to theirs. So
have you ever seen, Donnie, where they have a guy and he's got like a stick between him and there's two other people like with their hands on the stick, glued to the stick, and then the feet glued to the stick. So he's dancing and it looks like it's three of them dancing, but it's just one dude. It'd be great if they put him in the middle with his hands glued to a stick. But here's how stupid they were. What they should have done is put him in a wheelchair. Hey, he's elderly. You put a little blanket over him. You put some fake eyes. You put those glasses on him with the eyes open, and you roll him in that way. You don't try to carry the dude around. You can't carry a full-grown human.
I mean, what they missed was the voodoo curse and the music. That's what they needed. That's what we learned on Weekend at Bernie's.
Right.
I don't remember that closely. Wow.
All right. Coming back to the United States, a Texas woman is facing charges right now because it turns out you can buy almost anything at Walmart. Almost anything. Mm-hmm. A woman in Texas approached a young single mother who had her 1-year-old child and an infant in a car seat in the self-checkout line, and offered her $250,000 to buy one of her children.
Whoa.
Just
like, where's the tag? I can't scan this. Beep.
Yeah, I'm going to buy your kid. She said, I have $250,000 in my car. It is yours. Give me the kid.
Okay.
The woman, of course, said no. She offered a higher amount. The woman said no amount of money.
Hold on, Tiefel. Hang on. You say, of course, she said no, like it was so presumptive. That's the single guy that has no kids.
Right.
Either could be one of the kids. You've got 4. Either one of the kids, you're like, I don't like that one as much. That one's giving me a lot of shit.
So maybe when as the woman exited the store and went to the parking lot, the woman who wanted to buy one of her children followed her out and kept calling after the kids, trying to get it to come to her on there. Then she apparently had a partner with her. The woman, they kept screaming at her, finally offered her $500,000 for the kid, saying that she was going to take him anyway. And eventually, this mother was able to get her kids in the car, everything in there, and drive away. Police checked security footage later, and they were able to identify the woman and arrest her on charges of trying to purchase a child.
Well, okay, here's the problem with this story. Number one, she obviously wasn't the lady offering the money wasn't attached to one of these kids. So it's not like she said, "Oh my God, I have to have that kid. That kid is exactly what I'm looking for."
Well, that's exactly what she said because of the blonde and the blue eyes.
Well, I thought you said she said I'll take any one of the kids.
No, she it doesn't specify which kid she was talking about, but the fact that she was calling after the kid to have it try to come to her indicates she was talking about the 1-year-old.
Oh, okay. She wanted the one kid. All right. Well, I guess that takes my whole theory away. So, all right. Well,
I figure the infant would have a hard time getting out of its car seat and coming to her. So, on there. And last but not least, gentlemen, I apologize for this story. A 45-year-old man in the United States was suffering from impotence, and apparently nothing was working. And so he was inserting various objects into his urethra in order to stay erect. And his last attempt at this has probably pretty much guaranteed he has lost all function of his junk. His partner, named right now, took one of those cans of foam, like insulation foam, and what they wanted was the long thin plastic, piece that you get on those, that you stick in the nozzle, so it's more precise when you put it in. And they put it in, and then they were sticking it in, and apparently she accidentally hit the button at the top of the can,
I don't know if I can listen.
releasing the foam into the man's urethra, where it hardened and became lodged within him.
Oh.
The man then waited 3 weeks to go to the emergency room to get this looked at. He was he was having trouble urinating. He was when he did, it was blood. They basically they found several 4-inch pieces of the insulation foam within his urethra and his bladder. They had to give him an episiotomy to be able to get at the foam from the rear and give him a place to urinate from, because his penis was not functional. And they say that he will have to pass a psychological evaluation before any talk of reconstruction can happen.
No, he's crazy.
Oh. Oh my God! Obviously, this guy's never heard of the popsicle stick and tape trick, right?
Right.
I do have a picture of all the stuff they took out of him, but I'm not sure you're ready to see it.
No.
Brenda's like Donnie's face. No, I don't see anything. Wow. All right. Thank you. That is WTF News with Ebenezer Bushrod. All right. Donnie P, thank you so much. If you guys want a car, go see Donnie over at Taylor Kia.
But only if you're ready to see it everywhere else on the road after you buy it.
Yeah, what's that called again?
The Bernie Meinhof
Bader Meinhof
phenomenon.
Bader Meinhof phenomenon. We learned something. See, y'all learned something today. All right. For Chris Tiefel, Donnie P, I'm Andrew Z. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
I'm a hippo.
Broadcast Hippo. Digital media. Come on!